It's the Bulls Ka. It's not. It's a bull ka. It's not Bulls Ka. Now they've got me spinning. But shocking, as Cap, listening is a skill, wouldn't know that the boycott is about going to games, giving them my money. This is my thing, so no one can correct me because I've always said this. Until I know there's a real plan and ownership is committed to winning, I will not dish out $20 a month to watch them. That's why I don't have the app. I tried to get the antenna. This wasn't about not watching them. It never was. It was about not going to the game. The only time I've ever actively boycotted one of my favorite teams, and I do it out of love. I don't like every now and then you got to punish your kids, right?
Of course.
Because you do it out of love.
Of course.
I love the Bulls. I grew up going to Bulls games when no one went to the Chicago Stadium. I'm doing this out of love because they don't get my money for building 38-win teams. And I'm tired of it. This city deserves better. The ownership has been terrible. You've seen what the Sox have done. There's never a plan. And I just simply said, I will not go, nor will I take my kids. My kids have asked me as recently as a couple weeks ago, can we go to a Bulls game over spring break? And I told them no.
What if you had free tickets?
No, that was the essence of it. So we could have sat courtside for the Steph Curry Warriors game. We got offered.
Dude.
And I said no.
Come on.
They don't. I am not buying. I'm not buying a beer from them. I'm not going to the games. Or am I going for free? This is not about paying or number one, not about getting my money. But I won't go to the game. And the only other time I boycotted my favorite team was in 2006 for the Cubs when Andy McPhail ran the team.
Right.
And I wanted change. And it was the end of Dusty when Dusty let the
complete disaster.
Yeah, he let the clubhouse get out of control from the 03-04 team to 05 and 06, which was awful. And so what happened? They fired Andy McPhail, and they hired John McDonough as the team president for that 1 year. And they went out and they signed Alfonso Soriano and Lou Piniella, and they made the playoffs in 07. I'm not taking credit for that, but I'm just saying that's how bad it was. And it's the only time of my life that I've actively had a boycott.
I mean, I know several Sox fans that are not giving the White Sox their money after last season. I mean, it's not an unbelievable thought to not want to give the team the money unless they start winning a little bit. I mean, that's happened.
And it's not because they're not diehards. It's quite the opposite.
Right.
I've always stood up for Sox fans this way. Mm-hmm. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm not a Sox-hating fan. Sox fans stay away unless you show them that you're committed. Then they'll come. No, exactly.
Cub fans don't.
And so I had enough of 21,000, and I can only count 4.
Right.
There's only 4 I can take care of. I've always said on this show,
Allie, you are not going to a Bulls game.
We're not. And I said, and even without me, you're not going. We're not.
I love that you see it through. I love it.
And this isn't about watching. It's just like Sox fans will still watch their team or listen on the radio, but they won't go because they've had enough of what Jerry has done to that team. Let me read you this. And Cap, listen up. I know you could be hearing something, but you're not listening. And that's your biggest weakness. So
especially if you're sitting next to him.
Exactly.
That's a joke, Cap. Yeah. That's a joke.
All right. Since AK arrived.
Yeah.
So this is not counting this year, but it will bring the number down because of their record. Since AK arrived, the Bulls have averaged 39 wins a game. Okay?
A season.
39 wins a season. And this year, what do they have now? Is it 32 or 33?
33, I believe.
So they'll probably win about 7 this year? 38?
They'll be right around the average.
So they're going to be at close to the 39 that they've averaged since AK. Right. They are a sub-500 team under AK. They are no better today, even though they're on a hot streak, record-wise, than they were in the first year that he took over. They've not progressed from year 1 to year 4. Do you know what the average amount of wins the Bulls have since Michael Jordan left? So this is over 26 years.
You had those D Rose years, I'll say 43.
36.8.
Nice. Ouch.
So in the years that Jerry Reinsdorf and Michael have owned the team that Michael Jordan doesn't play, since really capturing the NBA in this city, they have built teams over the last 26 years, and they have averaged 36.8 wins per season in 26 years. So my only question is, you can call me a hater, you can call me a bandwagon guy, is why is it going to be any different than when they align a team next year, any better than a 40-win team?
All right, so here would be my answer. As I've railed on Zach LaVine for years, and I continue to, this is what, AK's real first chance to build a team without Zach LaVine. Now, it's his fault for re-signing him. It's his fault for a lot of things.
Patrick Williams was his first draft pick, re-signing Patrick Williams to $90 million, overpaying for Vooch.
So the question is, does this run and the draft of Bazelis and letting Kobe and the trade for Josh, is this enough to give AK a little bit more time? That's the question.
Oh yeah,
because this is the first
that's
chance
out the window now.
The first. This is the first chance post LaVine to build a team.
I said a month ago or 2 months ago on this show, I believe AK is the worst front office executive Chicago has had. So it's why worse than Phil Emery. If you look at some of Phil Emery's drafts, they weren't as bad as you think. He also had a number 2 offensive ranked team in 2013. AK stinks. And it's why I'm worried, and Bulls ownership has stunk.
Oh,
it's the track record. It's not personal. The track record is the track record. And now they can't even get their teams on television. So you can go on Twitter, or Cap and Hoodie can go on and bust my balls, and you can rail on me for being this bandwagon guy, or you can just say, he's got a point. When have they built anything sustainable? And even when they do get something sustainable, they find a way to F it up because they'll get into a fight with Tom Thibodeau, and they'll make sure that Tom Thibodeau leaves town. They'll get into a fight with Reggie Rose and Derrick Rose and make sure Derrick leaves town. They'll get in a fight with Jimmy Butler, and they'll make sure that they trade away Jimmy Butler before he becomes a superstar.
Dude, I mean, they're in a 3-decade-long fight with Michael Jordan without it really being
Scottie Pippen,
in
Michael
a public
Jordan.
way.
They broke up the greatest dynasty. That is still, guys, the same ownership. It's on me because I didn't want to go to the games this year because they've built another
here's the thing,
plucky 37-win team.
Cap and Jay Hood agree with everything you just said. They just want to get under your skin.
Right.
Those two things can both be true. But I just go back to what I said. An organization that doesn't have a relationship with the greatest athlete this city and this sport has ever seen is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to kiss the ring every day. I would do it to have Michael Jordan be part of the Bulls.
Do you see what Mavericks fans are doing right now? Do you see the protest that Mavericks fans are having after trading Luka, the insanity of trading Luka? Jerry Reinsdorf had the greatest dynasty, and he broke it up. They weren't ready to be, whether you think they would have won another year or not, to keep Michael around, to recruit the next guy, or to at least treat them the right way. He took a team that had won 6 championships in 8 years. He said, no more. I'm done with you. And he couldn't wait to draft Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler and set out now in the last 26 years to win 36.8 games. So this city wants to win, and they love these little hot streaks. But again, show me, or what has given you any hope. See, Red Fred was calling me.
The only thing that gives me hope is Zach LaVine's gone. I hate to be a broken record. That's it.
Fred used to call the show about the 3 alphas. No one's got better 3 players than Rondo and Wade and Butler. And he was telling me that this and that was going to happen.
He's the boy that cried wolf. I mean, how many times can you do the same thing? You just said it for 15 years. This time, though, he might be right.
Okay.
I will say that.
The broken
this
clock.
time might be right.
Yeah.
The broken clock theory. I hate to rag on Zach, so let's move on.
And I'm not here to rain on your parade. The shot is fantastic. And last night was fun, and winning is fun. And we don't have enough winning in this town, so you should enjoy every second of it. I'm just saying where I'm coming from and why I've been mad this year, it's not like I've just all of a sudden grown tired of the Bulls. There's a
Totally get it,
reason
of
for
course,
it.
but at least not. It's more than just the shot, though. There are 3 players, especially 2 of them, that are blossoming in front of our eyes, and they're young players.
Yes.
And so it's more than last night. It's the recent run and these guys blossoming. So put that all together. Maybe there's something there to work off of.
Here is Billy Donovan from this morning on Cap and J Hood. What a day to have him. I texted the boys yesterday about the timing of that. And so this is into what we were talking about. Here's Billy talking like, what are you trying to accomplish here with this year, within this season, and then in the long term with the young guys?
Yeah, I think the one thing that's important for us is to realize that I understand the big picture in the long term of, June is going to come and the draft's going to come. I understand that. But there's something valuable in a young player, playing in meaningful games. And I think players can sense organizationally when it's like, you know what, this really doesn't matter. Just play the young guys. We'll see what happens. At some point, when you're investing in players, you want them to be players that are going to impact winning. So I think this stretch of these last 9 games, and hopefully you get into, the postseason and see what happens there. For guys like Modest and Julian and Dalen and even Patrick Williams, Kobe to a certain extent, for these guys to be in these moments where there's meaning to it, that is really something that you cannot give them in terms of their development. They've got to earn that. And I think coming into the locker room every single day with this mentality that we're trying to put our best foot forward to be the best team we can be, to try to go out there and win, there is an internal pressure that players place on each other and on themselves, not in a negative way, but to lift each other up. And, if you take a guy like Modest, who's a rookie, and he comes in as a rookie and he just sees everything's about him, give him the ball, let him run around, shoot and pass and do whatever, let him make his mistakes, and there's no consequences and winning's not important, I don't know how a player can grow from that. I think part of the reason why Modest has made such a big jump is because we have taken these games very seriously, and the locker room's taken them seriously. And I think Modest has seen a little bit more clearer. Not only is he a talented, gifted player, but the things he has to do to help the group and help our team.
That's why I think it's important to get Billy on more. I wish AK would speak more, because there's really some great explanation there. And I've always said that it's not on the coach or the players to tank. It was on AK to clear out the deck earlier, where they could have done both. They could have won some meaningful games down the stretch, but still been in a better position to get one of the top lottery guys.
He sounds different. He sounds refreshed. He sounds, energized, all those things that we were hoping this team would bring out of everybody. And I don't know if it's since the trade or just this little run that they're on, or he's working on with young players again. He was so good in college. I don't know, but he sounds different. And obviously he's not on the air that often, but watching him in post games when they were going through bad, he just looked like he was, I don't know. He looked like a ghost half the time.
Yeah, right.
And sounded like one. And now he sounds refreshed. And you could tell on the court the team is playing his style.
Yeah, and it's fun. And I don't blame you for having fun. 312-332-3776.